So thank you for making me look good, because I clearly accomplished my goal. And we are, I'm not even sure what day it is. What day is it? Wednesday, Thursday, I don't know. People ask me, are you tired? I'm like, I can't even hear the word tired. I'm not gonna be able to hear it till Saturday, so please don't ask me if I'm tired. But I'm here today, I'm joined with a special friend, someone who has really gone all in on our ecosystem, believed in the crypto future that this city has positioned itself as, a Bitcoin leader and a crypto leader, and an NFT leader. So my first question to you, Peter, is what's your real name? I know it's not really Peter Smith. I mean, come on, that's like a James Bond name. What's your actual name?
You know, it's unfortunate, but I do have the most boring name in America. I was born this way, you know. I'm glad someone got that. But no, you know, every now and then I have to have a couple of my family members through the office to reassure people that indeed I'm just named the most boring Caucasian name possible. But no, you know, the one thing that's handy about it is that it makes it hard for folks to focus on anything but the company and the company's mission. And the reality is, you know, the company is a lot bigger than myself or any of the other co-founders. It's a huge team all the way around the world. A lot of those people are in Miami. A lot of those people are in Latin America, but all over the world, really, that are contributing to a mission that's even more important, which is building an open financial system for the internet. And so one of the things that I like most about my name is that it makes it kind of hard to focus on the wrong thing and easier to focus on the right thing, which is about the really exciting change that's taking place in the world today.
That's awesome. Good answer. Could have been Joe Smith, by the way. Or it could have been Francis Smith. That would have been interesting.
If I was Joe Smith, I'd be from Utah.
In 2000, so I'm looking at my notes here, and you know, I get notes, and everybody's seen me in my Cafecito Tech Talks. I always have notes, and there's everything on these is popping off at me on all these statistics and all the things that Blockchain.com has accomplished. In 2016, powered over 100 million transactions around the world, folks. And that was in 2016. Incredible. What made you choose Miami? I mean, you could have been anywhere in the world. You can't be anywhere in the world, and yet you chose to be right here in the great city of Miami. Talk to us a little bit about that decision.
So I think the COVID sort of year was great because it allowed you to sort of reset a lot of choices and step back and think about, why are we in this place? Why are we in that place? And it was super actually valuable for us. We had run our US operations out of New York, very small presence out of New York and San Francisco. And you know, at the end of the day, we could talk about the great weather or the awesome people or, you know, the energy of Miami tech scene. But for us, it came down to a simple fact that it's a lot more fun to be part of a community and building somewhere that shares your vision of what the future looks like, right? And when we are here in Miami, we don't have to convince people that crypto is probably the financial system of the future or that we should care about these new technologies. You have that level of buy-in, whether it's from the government or from, you know, other organizations outside of government like eMERGE, or it's the local education system, or even just the local people. The passion for cryptocurrency in Miami is unmatched anywhere else in the United States. And so it made complete sense for us to be part of that community and get behind that community.
Wow, very powerful stuff. So, how old are you?
I'm 32.
All right, I'm 44.
What's it like?
I'm not going to tell you. Have you seen the white hairs that are emerging on the side of my head? It's frustrating. How does somebody your age deal with managing a company? And before you answer that, I want you to take a step back, because I obviously know sometimes when I do these interviews, I forget to ask the obvious question, which is, I know, and a lot of people in this audience already know the answer to it, but what does Blockchain.com do? Right? I mean, we all assume that everybody knows. And where is it going to go? And then answer the second question, which is, at 32, how did you keep it together and how did you manage it all?
So we do something super simple, which is build products that make it really easy for anyone who wants to be part of the cryptocurrency market and economy to be able to be. And so we got our start with consumers, making it possible for consumers to hold assets directly on chain, to buy and sell cryptocurrency in 200 countries around the world, later to actively trade and invest in cryptocurrency. And then another part of our business, which is increasingly quite large, is the institutional side, where we make it possible for funds, family offices, hedge funds, asset managers to participate in the crypto finance system. But at the end of the day, what we really do is respond to customer demand. So people say, hey, we want to do this in crypto. Can you build a tool or an experience that makes that possible? And then we try to step up to the plate and deliver that product. Today the business is really big. There's hundreds of people around the world. We'll do a couple billion in revenue this year. It would be, so we spend a lot of time in London. We're, by revenue and volume, one of the largest companies in London now in financial services, not just in crypto. And it's been really challenging to manage that, particularly the growth over the last 3 or 4 years. And so your question was like, how have I kept it all together? And the answer is that I've not always kept it all together, right? And I think that particularly when you're a really young CEO, one of the things that you have to acknowledge is that you are not going to get it right every time. I've been a CEO for 8 years now, full time, and it would be, completely dishonest to pretend that I had gotten it right 100% of the time. I think that the nice thing about being a CEO from a young age is that you get a lot of chances. You get to try again and again and again and again, and you get the opportunity to get better. And so a big focus for me has been shifting my mind from how do I be perfect or how do I be great to how do I get a little better each year. And I think that's super possible with support of a great team, a great community, and most importantly, a market that sort of never is short of challenges.
Amen. So I have a really difficult question for you, and I want you to be very careful how you answer this question, okay? Who's a better DJ, Kygo or me?
Probably you.
Okay, great. Thank you. See, he's already getting used to living here in Miami. He's a great guy. What can I tell you? What do you see as sort of, you're in a hyper-competitive environment too, right? And I see, and one of the things I love about crypto, and one of the things I love about this environment is it seems like many different companies are trying to jump out and get involved in the community sponsorship, etc. Tell me how you view the competitive landscape that you're in. How do you differentiate yourself? How do you stay ahead of the competitive curves that are out there when there's massive companies that are competing against you?
So there's always been a lot of competition in crypto, partly because it's a space that really appeals to engineers. So there's always people jumping in the space, founding companies, building products. There's always been a huge amount of competition. What's funny about that is that sort of top companies in crypto by revenue, customers, transaction volume has remained largely unchanged. Largely unchanged for the last 5 years. The question is why? And I think a lot of the answer lies in two things. One is security and trust. And so customers want to use a company that has a long track record of customer safety, protecting you from being hacked, protecting you from theft. And then second is trust, and that comes down to doing the right thing. And there's a lot of ways for companies and people to make money very fast in crypto at the expense of their customers. One of the things that's most valuable about our company is that we have always put the long-term relationship with our customers first. And I think over the years, customers have come to value that, and they frequently recommend us to their friends. And so almost all of our growth today is organic. We spend very little on marketing. Almost all of our marketing and partnership budget is dedicated towards investing back into communities, whether it's crypto communities or Miami. So we're really just growing on word of mouth. And we grow by virtue of our reputation and our reputation alone.
When we first met, you were making the announcement, or gonna make the announcement that you guys were moving to Miami. How has it been since that? I know that you had a goal of hiring a significant amount of people from the Miami community. Tomorrow we're doing a hiring fair, by the way. It's tomorrow or today? I think it's tomorrow. Tomorrow or today? Tomorrow, okay, tomorrow. 4 p.m. I knew that. Actually, I did a video up here yesterday for it. How has that process been? And give me sort of the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm here to try to figure out, yeah, of course. You kidding me? Coffee? Come on. Cuban coffee?
I was almost really disappointed in the coffee.
Thank you. Cheers, buddy. Cheers.
So,
Really good.
the good news is we've hired more people in Miami than anywhere else since then.
All right. That is
Which is
good
great.
news.
The bad news is we probably need to hire like another 250 people here. So a lot more hiring to go.
Yeah.
And we've got our temporary office in Brickell, but we just figured out where our long-term home in Miami will be, which is in Wynwood.
Nice.
You'll
There we
see
go.
our name go
Not
up
too
on the
far
side
from
of a
here.
building here soon. And hopefully all of our construction permits will come through very fast. Very, very fast.
So there's this blockchain technology that I've been looking at. Harmony.
Yeah.
Is there an app for that?
Not yet.
Will be soon, right?
I hope.
Okay.
But, and then I think the most challenging part in all of that is honestly just keeping pace with the growth. Like, it's pretty wild what's going on in crypto, but also what's going on in Miami right now.
But I think that highlights like the need. We're talking about 200 plus jobs. Like, think about that. All of you who are in the audience, who are thinking about what are you going to do with your life and where are you going to work. I mean, you have a young, inspiring CEO of a fast-growing company on the forefront of technology that's going to hire hundreds of people right here. Those are your jobs. Those are jobs that you can have. And that's incredibly inspiring for me and incredibly motivating as mayor. And I'm so grateful that you have chosen to be here. And I can't wait to cut that ribbon. And I can't wait to cut the bureaucracy too, to get you those permits. It's gonna be fun.
I think, I was talking to the team and they were like, I think it's gonna take a few months. I was like, guys, how hard can it be possibly to build an office for 600 people? Just like 2 weeks.
I think we can do it in 2 days. What do you think? Do you guys have your shit together?
I don't know. Maybe it depends on the quality of the build. Maybe we just throw up some like folding tables and some chairs. It'll be like our first office.
It depends on who your architect is and your engineer. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right.
I do want to point out one thing.
Sure.
Which is that a lot of people have asked me, when I was in New York the other day, like, do I think the Miami moment will be that moment, right? And I think that I honestly didn't know if it would be a moment or if it would be sustained. What kind of convinced me that it would be a movement, not a moment, was when so much of the world started reverting back to normal. And Miami was no longer an arbitrage. It was no longer the only place you could go.
Sure.
And everybody was still here. And everyone still wanted to be here, wanted to stay here, wanted to move here, wanted to invest here. And for those of you who are in Miami all the time, are not here, you're here all the time and you're not out there in the world seeing that, what's crazy is that that moment of Miami being the only option is gone. And people still want to be here, right? And that means that you've hit on something really, really special. And I think that's down to the community of people here that have been laying down the groundwork for a very long time. And I want to say thank you to those people for creating something really special with that. Particularly the eMerge team. You guys have been at it for a very long time. The mayor, the support from the local city. You guys have really done something pretty incredible that is very rarely done today.
It's funny because a lot of people ask me that question as well. Like, hey, how do you know that this is real? What makes you know that it's real? And so in this journey for me, and I haven't really talked about this very much because I felt like I've been drinking water through a fire hose, for a year essentially, trying to keep the momentum up, trying to like sort of a hamster on a hamster wheel, just kind of trying not to stop or slow down. And they're obviously first it's like an anecdotal thing, right? Like you hear the stories, you're in the meetings, there are things that not everybody gets to see. I mean, that's why I think I did the Cafecito Tech Talks, was to give people not just to tell a story, but to give them a portal into what my life is like, into what I'm doing, the meetings that I'm having, and sort of create a layer of transparency, which obviously is what DeFi is about in large part. And then I started seeing the KPIs, right? Like #1 in the nation in tech job growth, #1 in the nation in tech job migration, #1 in pandemic recovery, happiest place in the United States, healthiest place in the United States. So I started seeing a lot of the KPIs, and I was like, okay, that's good because I have something to talk about. This is not just like what I'm experiencing internally. This is verifiable, quantifiable. And then I thought, like, when is that moment gonna happen where I say, like, wait a second, this is kind of unstoppable. Like, this is so real that I don't think anybody can deny it. And I thought, frankly, personally, I thought it would be next April, which is gonna be tech month. But to be honest with you, and what day is it today? Wednesday, right? I feel like I'm living the moment right now. As I get to that 1-year mark of the December 4th tweet and going to the events that I'm going to. And I think, look, a lot of people who've lived here for a long time know Art Basel has predominantly been an art event. There's 151 tech events this week. 151, right? More. Chris says it's more than that. So you're talking about an art show that has metamorphosized, sort of like how Manny and I talked about this years ago, South by Southwest, which was a music show, right? Like a music festival that sort of metamorphosized into a tech conference. And I didn't know that was going to happen. I mean, I had a sense on the NFT stuff particularly. I really felt that it would happen. But I now feel that Art Basel has become something bigger than Art Basel. And that sense of ingrainedness that you talk about, like that sense of inevitability. For the first time, I mean, it just feels so deep and real and transformational. And it's hard to explain. I mean, I walk around the city and so many people are so bullish, they're so positive, right? Everywhere I go, every event that I go to. So, I want to thank you for that too, because yes, you're right. There's so many people here in the front row and throughout we've talked about this a lot, about how we've laid the groundwork for this moment. But it's also, this has been sort of waves, right? It's like watching an ocean, seeing the waves crash, right? All the different waves of people that have come. And so we just have to keep the waves going in the same direction.
I remember something you said the first time we met, which was, this is almost a year ago now, you were like, we were having this meeting, all these crypto companies were talking about opening up big offices here, moving out of New York or SF here, and you were like, okay, this company's talking about it, this company's talking, it was like a bunch of companies. And I was like, well, we're also thinking about it. He's like, you're like, why don't you be the first? I was like, I don't want to be the first. Someone might make fun of me. And he was like,
nobody's making fun of you, buddy.
Come on. And actually, we were the first. We were the first to really put the flag down on real operations here. And now, my biggest problem with that decision is dealing with all the people that want our help and figuring out how to move their operations here. And I think that kind of advocacy is really important for any city. And the question that leaves me with is, what are you going to tweet on December 4th this year?
It's actually funny you say that. I ran into Kygo last night. No, I'm just kidding. No, I did. I ran into Kygo last night, but I actually ran into Delian as well last night. And I said, hey man, it's the day's approaching. What are we going to do? So you were first coming to the city as a big crypto company, and now there's another first that you have, which is a big announcement. This big announcement we've been talking about for days, right? We've been sort of keeping you all in suspense. This is the moment. So tell us, what do you have to announce today?
Yeah, so one of the things that's really important to us when we come into a city is to be partners in the local community. And one of the things that we really want to support here is the convening of technology in Miami. And there's a fantastic team that puts on events here in Miami, the Emerge team. They want to take the event bigger, better, and really convene Miami as a place for technology to sort of take a leap forward. And so we've been in discussions with them about being their primary sponsor, their premier sponsor. I think the announcement today is that we're going to be that. And we're excited to back their event in April in a huge way. We're excited to invest in the entire Emerge community, and we're really excited about the work that we're going to do together to make Miami a convening spot around the world for technology companies.
That's right. Blockchain.com, title sponsor, eMerge. Massive.
And for what it's worth, it's the only event sponsorship that we've ever signed. And it's one of our largest sponsorships to date.
I'm gonna put you on Front Street, buddy. Right now. And I'm gonna put you on Front Street by saying that you texted me recently, and I just want you to know what this guy's about, because this is important. And he texted me recently, and it's not just about sponsoring eMerge, which I think is huge. And being the title sponsor for eMerge is huge. What's that? Oh, that's right. I forgot. And a big part of the sponsorship payment is going to be in Bitcoin. That's right. Huge. So that is...
You have to take the coins. You know?
It's a good arbitrage, by the way. But he just texted me on Friday. He said, question for you. If we want to donate sponsor for 12-year-old high school sports teams in the Miami area between now and the end of the year, who would we talk to? So of course I said me. Talk to me, you're talking to the right person. But I think what's important is that this is a company that's not just investing in eMerge, in the local economy, in growing our tech ecosystem. They care about the youth in our community. And I'll tell you, obviously I see the little tattoo that you got there on the left. And it's obviously, to me, spirituality is important. Clearly it is to you, and I think being part of this community spiritually, economically, in all different forms is something huge, and I'm just so grateful and so thankful you spend this time with us and make this kind of investment in us.
Well, thanks for having us here in Miami.
Got it. Wait. Everyone, yeah. Sorry, buddy. You almost got away. So everyone who's been on my Cafecito Tech Talks, how many of you here have been on a Cafecito Tech Talk? Quite a few of you. All right. How many of you have Blockchain.com? We got to get those hands up.
Oh my God, this is
embarrassing. There you go. No, it's not.
No, because I can see employees in the fucking audience.
Oh no, you know why? This is good, because this is potential customers.
I can see former employees in the audience.
So everyone who goes on the talk obviously gets a Cafecito cup, brand new brand of the city of Miami. So here you go, brother.
Thank you, sir. One last small marketing thing. If you want to be one of those 200 people working for Blockchain in Miami, you can email me directly at peter@blockchain.com.
Go.
And I will reply. I'm strange like that. Cheers, guys.
Now, how many CEOs do that?